So, hello and welcome to this wee episode of Power in Communities. Hello and welcome to this wee episode of Power in Communities. And today I'm going to be talking about why I think it's best when communities work together to make positive change rather than waiting on the council or government to make these changes on their behalf. So, I'm going to talk about the school system, I'm going to talk about authoritarian practices and hegemonic practices and how we can challenge them in our communities. So we're going to focus on power and give this power cube. We're going to look at the visible power. Drumchapel has lots of visible power. We've got school, we've got police, social work, DWP and other organisations which enjoy a hierarchy with perceived power over the people. And this can refer back to Paulo Freire talking about magical consciousness, where people just accept their oppression. And this can have a real impact on voting. So in the last elections, there was a 35% voting attendance in Drumchapel and Anniesland. And this has a big impact on who has power in our communities and how they can do what they want with the communities. So one of the organisations that's challenging the hegemonic practice is Men Matter Scotland. Rather than waiting for a place to be created for them, they created their own space using some of the 7 capitals. The first one was human capital. Doesn't cost anything, just a group of guys using other guys to come together and talk about stuff. The next one's built capital. They accessed free spaces in the community to have talking groups and just support each other without the worry of cost and having to rely on other people to support them. It's a great organisation and it's here at Drumchapel and it's absolutely fantastic. One aspect of the community come together, working together. Education. We have a banking system of education in this country where a teacher will stand at the front of a classroom and talk to the learners, tell them what to say and tell them what to think. That just plays into the status quo of the working class glass ceiling. In communities like Drumchapel, we have a lot of trauma, a lot of poverty. It's harder to learn. So then what it does is it just plays into the hands of low-paid employment and insecure employment, just creating the vicious circle that people in these communities have to go through all the time. There's also a quote I read from Paulo Freire's book, Pedagogy of the Oppressed, that says that education is never neutral, that it's either for domestication or liberation. And when I read that, I have to share with you that it kind of blew my mind a wee bit, because what I see in my community is a very domesticated community. One that does what it's told, it plays the game, it accepts its low wages, it accepts that it has to earn its poverty, it accepts its environment and everything that surrounds it. Excuse me. So that quote really blew my mind and I think it's fascinating and it's a great way to show that the education system in this country kind of maintains the status quo in what we see in our communities. And that is really to just reinforce the working class environment and the class system. So one of the other projects we're going to look at tackling hegemonic practice is the G15 Youth Project. We have created an online TV channel called Drumchapel TV, where the young people learn and practice skills and then take that into interview scenarios where they question MPs, MSPs and local councillors on issues that are affecting them every single day. They even come up with their own ideas of things that are affecting them, like potholes, streetlight issues. And this is brilliant because what we're doing is we're building a generation of young people who are being more assertive. They're recognising their own power and how they can make changes. But furthermore, their action is actually inspiring other members of the community to get involved and challenge things, complain a lot. And there's some videos on YouTube from the guys that do a step-by-step instruction on how you can report things to Glasgow City Council. So these group of young people are doing fantastic work and long may it continue. Power exists the way it does in our democracy because we let it. We play our part, we don't challenge and we don't be assertive. The life expectancy in this community is 10 years less than the next community in Bearsden, a more affluent area, but we're happy to accept that. We accept the low living standards, the rise in energy costs, the education standards. We accept it because we believe that's what we deserve and we can't do anything about it. We can do something about it. We can get active, we can work together and we can make positive change in our communities using our own power. We all have it, we all have agency. It's time to start using it. And the last thing I want to talk about is claimed spaces. And for me this is something that's really important because places like Drumchapel may not have a lot of financial capital, but it certainly makes up for it in environmental and natural capital. And this space I'm sitting right now is a space created by the public, just people associated with no groups, just individuals who have found a place in the local woodlands. And they use it as a getaway place for peace. They can have a fire, have a drink, spend time with friends, have a barbecue. It's a space I've used many times myself in the Gusgarden Woods. And it's free, we treat it safely, we look after it, and we can use it anytime we want. We've used it to have the intergenerational work, interability work, and bring people together in a natural place that doesn't cost anything. This place is managed by the Forestry Commission, but we're allowed to use it and we look after it, and we always find it better than what we found it. So claim spaces is really important. Again, local woodland in Drumchapel is absolutely stunning. And it's another great asset to this community, which from the outside in looks deprived, but if you just scratch beneath the surface, there's so much beauty here. So that's a wee mindset thing, and that's my presentation on power in Drumchapel. Hope you enjoyed it.